Class B or stand-up, same rules and scoring as Class A or full rules. However, there are no submissions, and groundwork is limited to around 15 seconds.
So to help facilitate fair scoring and minimize the risk of improper scoring by judges, we ask that athletes wear their appropriate clothing and gear colored to correspond with their corner. For instance, if you're a red corner, you should not be wearing blue gear. Same with the blue corner. In addition to that, we will take the gloves and shin guards with the appropriate color as your corner. And whenever possible, you should wear a rash guard and clothing within that same color. Okay, takedowns are worth 2 points. Takedown is also known as initial ground control. Doesn't matter how you get there, the first fighter who obtains a top controlled and weighted position for 3 seconds gets the 2 points. Here's an example of classic takedowns. One, two, three, 2 for blue. One, two, three, 2 for red. One, two, three, 2 for blue. One, two, three, 2 for red. One, two, three, 2 for blue. So here's going to be 3 examples of takedowns that are not initially going to score because there's not control. And I will let you know once 3 seconds of control is established and which athlete scores. So first example. 1, 2, 3, 2 for blue, 2 for side control for blue. Red initiated the head and arm throw, blue rolled him over, got 3 seconds of control, therefore blue gets the points even though red initiated it. One, two, three, 2 points for red. So in this example, red initiated the takedown, blue was able to counter it before red got 3 seconds of control, and then ultimately red hit a switch, got 3 seconds of control on the back, so red gets the 2 points for the takedown. Other example, this is simulating a cage. One, two, three, takedown for red. So finally, because blue is sitting upright against the cage, red did not have control. Once red was able to get the majority of his back on the mat and establish that control position for 3 seconds, he gets a takedown point. Now takedowns that land in a ground control position not only earn the takedown point, it also earns the corresponding ground position point. So go ahead. So right here we have 1, 2, 3 seconds of control, which is 2 points for takedown and 2 more points for side control. One, two, three. In this case, he landed in mount, so we have 2 points for a takedown and 3 more for mount. Now in this case, even though the fighter who executed a takedown is on his back, because he has the back mount, he has a control position. So after 3 seconds of control, he gets 2 for the takedown and then 4 more for the back mount. In other instances where the fighter or athlete can get the takedown points are as if red is going to pull guard, blue simply has to land in a top control position for 3 seconds and he will get the 2 points. However, if red pulls guard but plays guard, effectively keeping blue from obtaining a top control position, he's denying blue the opportunity to score. At any point, if red sweeps blue and gets a top position for 3 seconds, he will get the 2 points. In open mat bouts where there's no cage or ring, you have a clearly defined boundary, inbounds, out of bounds. If one of the athletes exits the mat or goes out of bounds, break, that's 1 point for red. You can also push your opponent out to get the same point. Break, 1 point for blue. If a takedown is initiated inbounds but finished out of bounds, we can't give 3 seconds of control because they're out of bounds, but we can give them the 1 push out point. Same goes for a throw. We just have to look at whose feet exited the mat first. In this case, it was blue, even though red was lined up to the boundary line. He executed the throw. Red will get the 1 point for push out. Now, as long as you have control and one portion of the body is inbounds for 3 seconds, you can get the takedown point. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, red can get 2 takedown points because he has his foot in. So for side control, you have to pass your opponent's leg and hip defenses and have at least half his back on the ground. So this is the classic side control. Again, 3 seconds of control will earn you 2 points. Knee on belly is also considered side control, as is scarf hold and north-south, in addition to reverse scarf hold. So all these 3 positions just constitute side control. You don't rack up additional points for changing positions. You can either hold one for 3 seconds or a combination of all 3 for 3 seconds of control. Mount position is worth 3 points. Again, you need 3 seconds of control. The following constitutes mount. You have to be above your opponent's hips. You can be in the classic mount position. You can grapevine the legs. You can be in S mount. Or you can have one knee up, as long as you're straddling your opponent. In addition, if your opponent is belly down and you don't have your hooks in, and you're straddled, you still have mount. All these constitute mount position, and you can hold either one position for 3 seconds of control or any combination of these 3. Back mount is worth 4 points, and the following constitutes back mount. Either both hooks in, body triangle, or you can have one leg in a riding position as long as your hips and shoulders line up with your opponent. Doesn't matter if your opponent is belly up or belly down. Again, we're looking for the one leg, hips, and shoulders to be lined up together. Again, you can do a combination of all three, keeping control, or one position for 3 seconds of control to get your 4 back mount points. So now ground scoring points can only be earned once per position per sequence. For instance, blue is going to be the scoring fighter right now. So 3 seconds, that's 2 points for side control. 1, 2, 3, that's 3 point for mount. 1, 2, 3. That's 4 for back mount. Now, he cannot go back to any previous positions to score. If he does go back, he's allowed, but does not score. The rescoring clock resets when top and bottom is reversed. Sweet. 1, 2, 3 for mount. 1, 2, 3, 2 points for side control. 1, 2, 3, that's 4 for back mount. Now the other time when the ground positioning clock resets is if they stand up and they're neutral. And if blue gets his takedown, of course the scoring restarts. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 2 points per side. 1, 2, 3, 3 points for mount. 1, 2, 3, and that's 4 for back. To score an effective strike, the criteria is it has to land with shock, body displacement, or impact of the opponent. 2, it has to be unobstructed, meaning it can't be partially blocked. And 3, it has to be unanswered. So punches to the upper body are worth 1 point each. Classic upper body punching includes a rear cross, a stiff jab, a hook, an uppercut, and even a hammer fist. Kicks to the upper body are worth 2 points. Classic kicks to the body include front kick, round kick, and spinning kick. Kicks to the legs are worth 1 point. Has to be directed to the inside or outside of the thighs. Inside leg kick, outside leg kick. Certain age groups are permitted to throw a knee to the body. A knee to the body is worth 1 point. And there is no scoring for knees to the legs. So here's an example of strikes that will not be scored because they do not meet the three criteria of a scoring strike. The first would be a punch that is partially blocked, or a kick that's partially blocked, or a clash of strikes where nobody has a clear advantage. In this case, they both may be landing strikes, but since none have a clear advantage, neither of them get a score. Now, if the strike is unanswered, we can score that punch. In this case, blue threw a strike, red was not able to answer it effectively. That's 1 point for a body strike for blue. If there's a clash of strikes and the last striker hits a definitive blow and then exits, we can score that. In this case, red scored 1 point for the last definitive blow. The same goes for a clash and ending with a kick. In this case, red got 2 points for an unanswered kick, even though it was part of a clash, because blue was unable to answer the strike. So for ground strikes, the striker is limited to 3 effective blows per position. This is to limit the amount of ground and pound and also promote technical transitions on the ground. So to get the ground striking points, first you must be on top, you must be postured upright, and from the guard position you must be elbow high and land with good impact. You can get a maximum of 3 strikes, any types of strikes. If you exceed that, the referee should give the command, advance your position, blue, you've exceeded your strikes. At that point, you should either go to submit or score more points. In this case, he's gone to side control, which resets the striking scoring clock. So you can throw 3 more effective blows. Now from side control, you do not need to change positions completely. You can just simply adjust your position, such as going knee on belly. Then you can throw 3 more strikes. Now to get more, you would have to go to another position, which would be maybe mount, and he can throw 3 more strikes. Now if he is inside the guard, it doesn't matter what form of guard. He can throw 1 strike from full guard, 1 from half, 1 from butterfly. It doesn't change the fact that he's in the guard. Now he cannot throw any more strikes. He must advance his position by getting either mount or side control. Now, circumstances where the top athlete will not score is if the bottom athlete has him clinched or has his head pulled down. You will have to break free of that and posture up to land an effective strike. Or if the top athlete is hunkered down and he's just throwing hooks without posturing up, those should not score either. Okay? If the bottom athlete is on all fours, go ahead and turn it up. The top athlete has to make sure that he strikes within the frontal lines of the ribs and not behind it to get strikes. This is considered a position as well. The same as if the bottom fighter is on his back and the top fighter is standing. This is considered a position. We want to have some form of contact between their bodies. The top athlete can throw his 3 strikes. Then he must transition to another position to score more. Anything exceeding 3 per position, again, the referee will give the command, advance your position. Red cannot score from striking from the bottom because he does not have control. In this case, blue is defending a takedown, so he does not have control, therefore his strikes should not score.
Ground strike limitations can be confusing, so we'll illustrate it with this. So first, to score, the strike must be clean, unobstructed, and the striker must be either postured up or elbow high. The striker must be in the top position. Bottom strikes do not score. Each strike is worth 1 point. A maximum of 3 strikes can score from the mount or any variation of the mount position, and a maximum of 3 strikes can score from the back mount or any variation of the back mount position. However, when we're talking the guard, any top position over a grounded opponent that is not side control, mount, or back mount, which includes any form or variation of the guard, is limited to a combined maximum of 3 scoring strikes. That means if you transition from any of these types of positions, you still only have a maximum of 3 scoring strikes. Now, side control is where you can earn 3 additional points each time your position is adjusted. An example of a positional adjustment is side control from one side to the other side, knee on belly, scarf hold, or north-south. So each time you adjust your position from side control, you can get 3 additional strikes in. Now the scoring potential is reset only once standing neutral is established, when both athletes are back on their feet, reversal of top and bottom, or full guard is reestablished.
Your legal striking targets for the upper body are from the collarbone on down, from the belt line on up. You want to strike the torso. You want to hit from the frontal ribs to the front, not the rear ribs. As far as the legs, the only legal striking areas of the legs is the outer thigh, above the knee to below the hip, and that can be outside and inside. However, you are not allowed to knee the leg, only leg kicks for those divisions that are otherwise allowed to do knees. Any other strike is not a legal area, and it would be considered just for punishment purposes only. The athlete will either get warned or penalized or disqualified if they continue to strike a non-legal area. It is never permitted to strike the face or head, nor back or spine area. You cannot direct a strike to the knee, specifically the front part of the knee. You cannot throw an elbow or forearm strike. You cannot strike with a non-gloved portion of the hand. However, you can do a hammer fist. And you cannot headbutt. Strikes to the body and legs are legal. However, they must be employed in a restrained manner, meaning they are controlled and focused and executed with good martial arts technique. Athletes who lose their temper or composure or strike wildly will be penalized or disqualified.
Athletes cannot kick while on the ground. This applies to kidney kicks from the bottom or stomps from the top or any other type of kick aside from a controlled leg kick used for the purpose of a guard pass. Now, any strike from the standing position will also be considered guard for the purpose of strike limitations. Ground strikes are limited to 3 strikes per ground position. When it comes to the guard, that can be standing over a downed opponent or in any form of the guard. However, when you're in side control, you can do 3 strikes and then simply adjust your position, such as knee on belly or north-south, or transition to the other side, and your striking clock resets with the positional adjustment. The mount and back mount are the same rule as the guard, whereas you can only throw 3 strikes per any position or combination of guard, mount, or back mount positions.
Strikes to areas or targets that are not permitted and only done for punishment purposes are not allowed. The referee will warn the fighter that they are not exhibiting scoring strikes and to only do scoring strikes. If they continue so, they will get penalized. Again, strikes have to be for scoring purposes. Therefore, they must hit only legal target areas with legal techniques. In divisions that allow knee strikes, specifically grounded knees, you must have control of the upper body with one knee on the mat to execute a legal knee. You are not permitted to throw knees or any type of kick from a standing up position.
Most takedowns and throws commonly seen in other combative style sports are going to be legal in the USFL. However, throws that are either designed to injure or likely to injure are going to be illegal. It's also a general rule of thumb that the individual executing the technique is responsible for the safe landing of their opponent. Athletes are allowed to pull guard. Now that will concede the takedown points for their opponent if they can establish a top position. However, not all age groups can jump guard. Jumping guard is defined where you jump and put your weight on a standing opponent. However, there are occasions when a takedown is initiated and the individual who is getting taken down has some degree of elevation to put his opponent in the guard. This is generally allowed. One of the ways to distinguish between a slam and a hard takedown is constant motion. This first takedown had constant motion, which is legal. However, this one, he poses and then deliberately drops his weight on his opponent to cause injury, which is illegal. Jumping or flying scissors takedown is not going to be legal. However, you can do a scissors takedown if you have connection to your opponent's body and one hand on the floor. This will help alleviate the risk of knee injury. A suplex style throw is only legal when your opponent is not directed to land on their head or neck. To prevent unintentional slams, the referee may break the hold at any time. You can elevate your opponent above your hips. Under no circumstance is it permitted to slam your opponent who has you in the guard. You're not allowed to backsplash to escape a back-mounted position. And you cannot spike your opponent's head to the ground or intentionally drive his head or neck to the mat.